Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Polapat. I'm from Bangkok, Thailand, and I would like to speak about the copyright protection trends that not only in Thailand but also for the publishing industry. I think worldwide, nowadays this is the trend of how we do the protection. So from the previous speaker, we she talked about IP, right? In intellectual properties, and with the IP, there's come the piracy. So people want to violate your IP right. The good example of content that being pirated most in I think in the publishing industry is the comics or manga. Like for example, this on the slide it showed the Japanese manga being pirated to the worldwide audience. So and the funny thing is the pirated copy is even more uh, popular than the original one. It's like more many more people access to this. Like uh, like this is only one of the pirated website that offer comics in Thailand. One of the popular comics from Japan has been read more, I think now more than 60 million times alone on this website. And it's the same content released in Japan in the morning. By early afternoon, it's already released on the same on this pirated website. And what they do is they don't charge the user for the content, but they monetize by showing the advertisement on the website. And everything most is very comprehensive. A lot of popular content, all the good title or the popular title, they put it there. So it attract many user. And until recently, the the I think one of the big problem is the Japanese publisher themselves. They don't they don't give the legal way to the user to consume this content. So they don't release the right to the local publisher or the local store for to distribute this in the electronic versions. But I think for the past few years, they realized these problems and they start working with to fight this. So it's actually I think getting better now. So for the copyright protections, one of the question is to DRM or not to DRM. DRM is actually stand for digital rights management. So when we have all the any digital files, we have two choice. One is to protect them, or another one is not to protect them. So the way to protect them is to use the various access control technology like encryptions or access control for this. So there are several ways to do that for the copyright protections. The first one is like when you have the ebooks or any digital files, what all this file is stored on the server somewhere, right? So the first copyright protection is to use encryption on the server. So it means like you have the picture files or the book files, the word files, and you save it on the server, right? But to encrypt it is to make it unreadable without the unlock key. So even the hacker or the bad guy gain access to your contents, they won't be able to read it unless they have the unlock key. Another protection is the secure connection between the server and the device. With the ebooks or the digital files nowadays, the way you consume it is on your computer or on your mobile phones or on your tablets. The way that hacker take this file, besides hacking into the server, is to take it on the from the air, right? So the content is being sent from the server to your device, but sometimes when you send it, it is not secure. So there is a technology to have the secure connection over the network. So even if it's being eavesdrop or intercept the content, they cannot read the content. And another way to protect for the copyright protection is to limit the device of user that can consume the content. So now most of the device that we use, either computer, mobile phones, or tablet, they all have the unique serial number that attached to it. So one way is to use those serial number to control access to the content. And it come to the next one. After they download the content to the device, we can do the persistent online checking with the so even if they have the content on the device, we also have the online checking to verify their right on the server. Another one is the time limit access. So there's a way to control the access to the files so that it expire in a certain time period. Like when you only have access to this file for 1 month, and after that it is you cannot open it anymore. And the next one is to restrict the printing, the copy of the content on the screen. Also restrict the screen capture of the device. Now most of the ebooks or digital content many times is being pirated by simply the screen capture. But now we also have the way to restrict that. I will show in the further in the next slide, and it comes to the. So the last two copyright protection means is quite interesting, and I think it's the way for the future. So the first one is called social DRM or social digital right management. So for the social DRM, instead of encrypting the content, what they actually do is putting the personal information of the buyer of the content into the files or onto the pages of the books. So if the buyer of the content they have the intention to share or to sell this copyright content to other people, they there will be like their personal information go along with them, such as the name, maybe the phone number or the email used to purchase the content, and also the second one is I use the word beyond DRMs. So we, instead of protecting, we have to encourage people not to use the pirate content. I will go into detail later on. So this is the sample of the screen capture restriction. So you can see on the right picture that when the user try to capture the screen, the device actually block it and say unable to capture screen because it's a DRM protected content. And on the left side is the social DRM. So so we actually allow them to do the screen capture, but what we do is we put the watermark of their information onto the page itself, and we act like the technology nowadays actually allow us to track the screen capture, so we can count how many screen capture that one specific user actually do, so we can make it progressive. Like if they only capture one or twice, we let it go. It's a fair usage. They might want to share it with some friend or acquaintance. But if they start doing it too often, like they copy every page like more than 10 times, something like that. So we start putting watermark on it, and then if it still go on, we can like start putting the a black film on the page itself. So even they do the screen capture, it will start blacken. So finally they won't be able to read the content, maybe up to another 3 days or something, and then we reset the mechanism. So this is the detail of the social DRM. So we actually embedded visible and invisible marks and text and image into the ebook files that can be traced back to the original content buyer. So it's supposedly traceable and should discourage the intention to share the content. And this is the one that I talked earlier, that beside protection, you should encourage the user not to violate the copyright. One way that we do is we use the interesting model called the trickle-down model. So instead of just selling the content, we actually create the online communities and bring the creator to interact with the consumers. So this way, when they have connection, right? So the consumer, they know the creator, and they want to support their creator. They become a fan. So and we are quite successful with this in Thailand. We can bring like many millions of users to meet their artists. And another way we do is I think one of the reason that people use pirated copy, one of the main reason is the price. So instead of selling the at expensive price, we negotiate with the publishers to offer like the all you can read or the buffet model. So the reader they just pay some specific fee, the monthly fee, and then they can access all the content. So and by this way, many people are willing to pay for the content, and it's a win-win situation because the publisher also get some revenue sharing from this. So this is the example of the community that I mentioned earlier. So we create the community for comics artists called Ukbi Comics, and so we allow the artists to come and draw their own content and interact with their fan, right? So and what we do is we also so some of these artists they just give away the digital version to the user for free, but then they offer the print on demand books for the fan to buy, and many fans help support this artists. They even create merchandising like dolls or T-shirt or caps for the to monetize from their IP. Like this, for example, like they make the they draw the content and give away the digital version for free, and then they sell the paper books, the doll, the figure to the user later on. And I think it's quite an effective way to instead of just protecting the content, you have to educate and encourage the user not to use pirate content this way. Maybe it's a future way. So I think that that sum up my talk today. Any questions from the audience? Okay.